Many years ago, before people started locking their guest rooms and pretending not to be at home when visitors called, there lived a woman named Obianuji. Everyone in the compound fondly called her Madam U because she was neat, kind, and soft-spoken to a fault. She was married to Chibuzo, a man with a peaceful heart and a round face that shone like fresh yam oil after Sunday service. Together, they lived in a quiet 3-bedroom flat in Lagos, the kind of place where the fridge hummed louder than the tenants upstairs and children could shout freely as long as their noise didn't reach the landlord's window. Life was calm, predictable, perfectly organized until the day Aunt Antonia arrived. That morning had started quietly. The sun was gentle. The children, Isoma and Efina, were in the backyard washing their school sandals. Uju, as Obianuji was fondly called, was in the kitchen frying golden slices of plantain when her phone rang. The caller ID flashed one word, Auntie. Her heart skipped. Whenever that name appeared, Peace was about to go on leave. She picked up gently. Auntie, good morning. Long time. From the other side came a booming dramatic voice, like someone shouting through a church megaphone. Oh, my darling. I'm already on the road. I'm coming to Lagos today to see my nephew. You people have forgotten me finish. I'll just stay small, maybe 2 weeks, then go back. Uju froze midair, plantain still sizzling in oil. Huh? Auntie Lagos? You didn't even tell us earlier. We would have prepared. Prepare? My dear, it's just a family visit, not a presidential inauguration. I'm already at Hope Junction as we speak. Tell Chibu I'm coming with love. And that was it. Before Uju could even finish frying the last batch, Auntie had called again. She was now at Holy Ghost Park, waiting for a bus. By evening, the compound gate burst open, and there she was, Antonia in full drama. She wore a shiny lemon green blouse with gold embroidery bright enough to blind an innocent passerby. A long wrapper was tied above her stomach, and her wig looked like it had seen the face of God and returned. She dragged one Ghana Moscow bag, clutched 2 black nylons of roasted corn and groundnuts, and shouted, "Oh, my daughter!" She hugged Uju tightly. "You're even fatter than the last time I saw you. Marriage is sweetening you, oh." Uju smiled weakly. "Auntie, welcome. How was the road?" "Ah, the road was wicked. Those bus drivers, if I tell you what they did, you'll join me to pray. One even wanted to collect my roasted corn as if he paid bride price for it." Just then, Chibuzo stepped out, smiling that harmless smile he used whenever he didn't know what to say. "Auntie, welcome. You didn't even tell us you were coming." "Ah, my son. Surprises are sweeter. I just came to rest small. Only 2 weeks and I'll be gone. I promise." But in Lagos, promises are like thunder, loud yet fragile as cobwebs. That night, she ate like someone who hadn't seen stew in 2 months. She demanded rice, plantain, and then added, "Do you have small pounded yam to round it up? My mouth is doing somehow." Uju's eyes widened, but she said nothing. After eating till her neck belched, Auntie declared, "Uju, your soup is too watery. A man that eats watery soup will soon start giving watery love." Chibu nearly choked on his water. Uju just smiled politely. "I'll add more egusi next time, Auntie." "Good. And another thing, don't let your husband eat too much at night. His stomach is already growing like a cover bag. You know, men, once they eat well, they start sleeping instead of listening to their wives." She laughed alone. Nobody joined her. By dawn the next day, peace officially died. At exactly 4:45 a.m., a thunderous voice rose from the sitting room. "Jehovah, Jehovah, anyone that wants to scatter this family, Holy Ghost fire." Uju jumped up, thinking robbers had entered. She ran to the sitting room and saw Auntie kneeling, shaking her head, banging the table. "Auntie, it's not even 5 a.m. The children are sleeping." "My dear, that's the best time to talk to God. Enemies don't sleep, so why should I? You want witches to fry me like a kara? God forbid." By 7 a.m., the whole compound already knew. A new prayer warrior had arrived at flat 2. It's not that serious now. She'll soon get tired." Uju sighed. "I hope so, because she's already spread her wrappers in the guest room like she's renewing rent. But deep down, Uju knew the truth. Auntie hadn't come to visit. She had come to settle. The promised 2 weeks came and went like her matin breeze. By the 3rd week, Auntie had started behaving like a landlord. The guest room was no longer a visitor's corner. It had become a shrine of wrappers, perfume bottles, wigs hanging like sleeping bats, and a bag of ground crayfish she called emergency seasoning. Uju kept her peace, convincing herself it was temporary, until one Sunday morning she stepped out of the kitchen and saw Auntie sitting cross-legged in her favorite chair, fanning herself with a church fan and barking orders at the children. "Isoma, come here. Why is your skirt short? You want to attract husband before wake? Sit down there and read your Bible. And you, why are you wearing red socks on brown shoes? You look like traffic lights that lost direction." Uju stood frozen, torn between laughter and tears. Dramatic but harmless. "Harmless?" Uju hissed. "She's using your shaving stick to brush her eyebrows and calls it tradition." Yesterday, she told Isiama that if a woman wants to marry well, she must start kneeling to greet boys. "From now," Chibu laughed. But his laughter was weak. Deep down, even he had started feeling uncomfortable. The last time he tried to enter the kitchen, Auntie had stopped him halfway, saying, "Chibu, don't enter the kitchen. It's not good for men. You'll turn into a household husband." Tension began to thicken in the air. Soon, Auntie started attending the compound women's meetings. She introduced herself there as Madam Ka, senior wife of Chibu. Uju only heard about it from the gossiping neighbor, Mama Ma, who came knocking that evening with her usual fake sympathy smile. "Uju, my sister, I just said I should tell you what I heard though. They said your husband's second wife joined our women's group today." "Second wife? Which second wife?" Uju asked. "The one that lives with you now, the one that prays like a trumpet every morning. She even collected the chairman's number for contributions. Said she'll host the next meeting in your sitting room." Uju's mouth hung open. Jesus. That night she confronted Auntie calmly. "Auntie, I heard you attended the women's meeting." "You didn't even tell me." Auntie smiled. My dear, why should I tell you now?" "I am part of this house. Anything that concerns you concerns me. I even used your name for the registration. You're welcome. Don't mention it." Uju stared at her, speechless. The audacity was spiritual at this point. The next day, when Uju woke up, she found her cotton fabric missing. Auntie had cut them into two. "I wanted to sew a scarf and matching napkin," she said casually. When Chibu tried to speak up that night, Auntie burst into dramatic tears. "Chibu, so this is how you repay me after all my sacrifices? Do you know how many nights I didn't sleep when you had measles? I carried you on my back and prayed for your healing, and now because of this your wife you are talking to me anyhow?" She cried louder, then locked herself inside the guest room. That night, the atmosphere in the house turned cold. Uju began to fear her husband's silence. The children started tiptoeing around. Even the cat refused to come inside again. Then one night, as rain poured heavily, Uju couldn't sleep. From the corridor, she heard Auntie's voice again, whispering on the phone, "Don't worry, I'm in Lagos now. Everything is under control. Once I get my share, I'll come back. Just make sure that document doesn't reach the elders yet." Uju's heart started pounding. "Get my share? Which share?" She lay still, pretending to sleep, but her mind was turning like a grinding stone. From that night, she began watching Auntie closely. Every time the postman dropped letters, Auntie would rush to the gate first. Sometimes she would clean Chibu's drawer, but slip something quietly into her pocket. The house was no longer chaotic. It had become suspicious. Uju was convinced something deeper than food and advice had brought this woman to Lagos. By the second month, the A household had changed completely. At breakfast, she began her second ministry, the Department of Unsolicited Advice. She told Isoma to stop wearing ankle socks because only wayward girls wear short socks. She told Ifina that men who wash plates early in life end up under women's control. She told Chibuzo that a man who lets his wife fry plantain unsupervised will soon cry in court. Every line ended with, "I'm saying it with love." But that love was draining faster than the household gas cylinder. Later that day, Uju's friend from church, Unazi, came visiting. They were chatting happily when Auntie barged in, sat right between them, and began telling stories from 1972. "Unazi, do you know this, my Uju? When she was newly married, she used to cook sand and call it Gary. I'm the one that corrected her. If not for me, she'd have been sent back to her father's house." Uju's face burned, but Unazi just smiled and sipped her malt. That night, as Uju and Chibu lay in bed, she whispered, "My love, please, let's agree. 2 weeks. After that, she must go." Chibu chuckled lazily. When she finally said, "We're late for Sunday school, Auntie." "Late for what?" "My dear, punctuality without holiness is useless." Even Shibuzo, once amused by her antics, began to sense something was wrong. Each evening he returned home to find old Nollywood films blaring from the TV, Auntie wrapped in her cloth, shouting at the screen, "Ah! Don't marry him, he'll use your womb for money ritual." "Madam, calm down, it's just a movie," Chibu would say. That's how it starts. One day film will happen to somebody in real life." Slowly she took over the house. Professionally, she rearranged the kitchen, moved all plates for easier access, poured ground pepper into a used Vaseline jar, and organized clothes in spiritual color order. One morning, Uju went to cook breakfast. Her favorite non-stick frying pan was gone. "Auntie, where's my black frying pan? That one?" "I gave it to Mama outside. Her daughter's going for NYSC and needed a pan. Giving is good for the soul." Uju's jaw dropped, but Auntie, that pan was new. "My daughter, don't attach yourself to worldly things. You're too materialistic for a married woman." That day, Uju cried quietly in the kitchen, stirring pap with trembling hands. And still, it didn't end there, because every day that followed, Auntie's mystery deepened. She'd vanish for hours, then return late at night with nylon bags. When Uju asked where she'd gone, she'd just smile and say, "Just small business. A woman must hustle, you know." Yet no one truly knew what business she was doing or where she was always going. Sometimes you'd notice her receiving strange phone calls, speaking in low tones like someone hiding secrets. "Yes, no, don't bring it near the market though. They might see me. Okay, we'll settle that one later." Then she'd hang up and suddenly start singing hymns loudly, as if the music could erase suspicion. One evening, Uju finally decided to talk to her husband. "Chibu, we need to set boundaries. Your auntie is taking over the whole house." Chibu yawned, scrolling through his phone. Calm down now. It's just family. You know Auntie." From a peaceful home to a reality show called Keeping Up with Auntie. Everyone now walked on eggshells. Even the wall clock ticked slower, as if afraid to make noise around her. Uju had stopped smiling. A kitchen, once her kingdom, had become a battleground over who owned the pots. Every time she tried to cook, Auntie would appear from nowhere, tying her wrapper tighter. "Shift! Let me help you. You young wives of today don't even know how to season meat with prayer." Before Uju could blink, the whole meal would change flavor. One morning, she caught Auntie pouring ogiri inside spaghetti. "Auntie, that's spaghetti, not soup." "My dear, that's your problem. You people don't innovate. This is called traditional pasta." The children began complaining secretly. "Mommy," Isiama whispered one night, "Auntie said I shouldn't watch cartoons again because mermaids are demons." Ifa added, "She said she'll beat me if I whistle at night. That spirits will come out of my mouth." Uju laughed bitterly. "Spirits are already in this house, my children." Then things took a darker turn. Money began disappearing from Uju's purse. 1,000 Nigerian nairas note at a time. Groceries she bought in bulk vanished mysteriously. Milk tins, sugar, oil, yet Auntie would still complain, "Uju, your house is dry. You people don't buy anything again." One afternoon, Uju pretended to go to the market but stayed behind, watching quietly from the window. Just 10 minutes later, she saw Auntie sneaking out with a black nylon bag, glancing left and right like a movie thief. Uju's heart pounded. Where could she be going? She waited until nightfall. When Auntie returned, drenched in rain but smiling suspiciously, Uju asked, Auntie, where did you go? Eh? Nowhere. I just went to buy onions with 9 on that big. Lagos onions are heavy, my dear. You won't understand. That night, as the rain continued, Uju couldn't sleep again. She heard Auntie whispering on the phone once more. Listen, I told you not to bring that document here again. The elders are still angry. Once I secure myself well in Lagos, I'll face them. For now, let everything rest. Uju sat up quietly. Documents? Elders? Secure myself in Lagos? She tiptoed to the door holding her breath. Then she heard Auntie say again, Don't worry, the land won't disappear. I sold it for a good price. They can shout from now till next year. Uju covered her mouth in shock. Land? Which land? The next morning, Auntie was her usual loud self, shouting at the radio, eating bread with stew, and giving unsolicited sermons. See, marriage is like okra soup. If you don't stir it well, it will draw and embarrass you. Always respect your husband. Thank you, Auntie, Uju muttered, pretending to smile while her heart burned with suspicion. That evening, she told Chibu what she heard, but as usual, he dismissed it. Uju, you and this your suspicion. Auntie is not that kind of person. Maybe she was talking about something else. Something else like what, Chibu? She said she sold land and is hiding from elders. Maybe she meant market women, Chibu shrugged. Market women, my foot, Uju snapped. One day this woman will bring us trouble. And she wasn't wrong. The next Sunday after service, a stranger arrived. He introduced himself as Ikena, a family member from Nsukka. Good afternoon, madam. I'm looking for Madame Uwa. Oh, she's sleeping, Uju replied, confused. Who are you? I'm family, from the village. Please, don't tell her yet. I just need to confirm she's here. Before Uju could say anything, Auntie's voice echoed from inside. Who is that again? Another beggar? The man's eyes widened. He stepped inside. Auntie Uwa, so it's true. You ran away with the land documents. Auntie froze, her plate dropping to the floor. What are you doing here? Auntie, the elders have been looking for you for months. You sold Grandpa's farmland and disappeared with the money. Grandma is sick because of you. The sitting room fell silent, except for the ceiling fan spinning noisily. What nonsense are you saying? Auntie snapped, laughing awkwardly. You people just like to exaggerate. Exaggerate? Ikena barked. You lied that you were coming to Lagos for medical checkup. Instead, you came here to hide. You think we won't find you? The argument exploded like petrol on fire. Auntie began crying, rolling on the floor. God will punish you. You want to destroy me because I am a woman. That land was my sweat. But Ikena wasn't moved. He dropped a small brown envelope on the table. That's the petition the family will submit if you don't return home. You have only 2 weeks. Then he walked out. The silence that followed was deafening. Uju looked at Chibu. Chibu looked at Auntie. Auntie, is it true? He asked quietly. Ah, Chibu, Auntie said, trembling. Don't listen to them. Oh, they are trying to spoil my name, Auntie hissed. They're just jealous that I'm successful. You looked at her sharply. Successful? Auntie, you're hiding in my house like a fugitive. Auntie's face changed instantly. Oh, so now you talk to me like that because of your wife? You've forgotten who fed you Gary when your mother died? Chibu stood up sharply. Please, Auntie, don't drag my name into this. You lied to us and now you're putting our family in danger. Danger? Me? Auntie snapped. You'll regret saying that. She stormed into her room, slammed the door, and refused to eat that night. But around midnight, you woke up to the faint sound of drawers opening. Tiptoeing to the corridor, she saw Auntie quietly packing her things into a Ghana must-go bag. Auntie, Are you leaving? Auntie froze. Oh, Uju? I thought you were asleep. I'm just going to see somebody. At the park. Before you could say another word, she dashed into the night. 2 days later, Auntie returned, this time with a bigger bag and even bigger excuses. I only went to settle small issues in Nsukka. Don't mind that boy, he talks too much. You just stared blankly because deep down, she knew something dark and unfinished was still following Auntie like a shadow. Then, one hot Thursday afternoon, while you were sweeping the sitting room, a black Toyota Camry pulled up outside. 3 men and 1 woman stepped out, faces frowning like people who hadn't smiled since the Civil War. Chibu, she called, panic in her voice. People are outside looking for Auntie. They said they came from Nsukka. Chibu sighed. What did she do this time? Before anyone could offer them water, the oldest man with the grey beard spoke firmly. We are here concerning our daughter. She ran away after selling our brother's farmland without consent. We've reported her to the entire clan. She must return and explain herself. Auntie froze. Like a goat that just heard a strange night sound, sweat dripped down her forehead as she tried to smile. See these old men? You left Nsukka to come to Lagos because of small misunderstanding? Can't you rest? The old man slammed the table. Small misunderstanding? You sold land worth 2.8 million naira and disappeared. You forged family documents. Now the buyer wants to fence the place and we're being dragged to court. Chibu gasped. Auntie, is this true? What's wrong with selling my father's land? Auntie barked. Did I not suffer on that land? Suffer? The younger woman shouted. You didn't even inform anyone. You forged your brother's signature. The room erupted. You held her head in disbelief. Auntie, you brought this kind of wahala into my home? Why? Shut up, Uju! Auntie screamed. You don't know what it means to be an orphan. They all hate me because I refuse to remain poor. The old man shook his head sadly. We've given you 2 months. If you don't return home for settlement, we'll involve the police. They left, slamming the door. Chibu turned to Auntie. Auntie, you've embarrassed us enough. It's time to go back and clear your name. Go where? Auntie screamed. You want me to die? You're chasing me out because of your wife. No, Auntie, Chibu's voice broke. This is about peace. We have children in this house. They don't deserve this drama. But Auntie wasn't listening. She burst into tears and fell to the floor. After all I did for you, this is how you repay me? God will judge you. She locked herself in the guest room for 3 days, refusing to eat, only drinking Fanta and muttering scriptures like a wounded prophetess. By the 4th day, you had had enough. She told her husband, we can't live like this anymore. I've called her brothers. They'll come on Sunday. Whatever happens, let them take her. Chibu didn't argue. He simply nodded, a tired man surrendering to fate. When Sunday came, 2 family men arrived. This time with a van, they entered quietly. We've come to take her home. The elders are waiting. Auntie Monica came out wearing dark glasses, clutching her Ghana mascot like a celebrity in disgrace. So this is how you'll humiliate me, Abi? Fine, I'll go. But you'll remember me one day. As they escorted her out, she turned to Uju and hissed, You think you've won, Abi? This your marriage? It will test your patience. You'll remember me. The van drove off. That night you cooked stew, and for the first time in months, everyone ate in peace. But as she was about to sleep, she noticed something strange. The generator cable was gone. Her perfume box was empty. Half the bag of rice missing. You sat down and laughed until tears fell. Even in departure, she said she didn't forget her souvenir. For weeks, peace returned. The children laughed again. Chibu came home early. Neighbors congratulated you, saying she'd survived a war. Mama Eni joked. Ah, my sister, your deliverance came just in time. If you hadn't sent her away, she'd have sold your windows next. But Lagos has a way of tasting peace. One Saturday morning, as you prepared to go to the market, there was a knock. When she opened the gate, her purse nearly dropped. There stood Auntie again. New clothes, sunglasses, and another Ghana must-go bag, smiling like nothing happened. "Uju, my daughter!" She beamed. "I just came to pick one small thing I forgot. Only 5 minutes. You froze. 5 minutes, Auntie. What are you doing here again?" "Don't shout. Oh, I just came for my Bible and slippers." Before you could reply, Auntie was already inside, looking around like a queen inspecting her old kingdom. You people even repainted. The spirit of progress is here. I told you, my presence brings blessings." Chibu came out frowning. "Auntie, good morning. You said you came for your Bible?" "Yes, my son," she replied, eyes fixed on the TV. "Maybe I'll just sit small to watch Super Story. My legs are paining me from the journey." Uju glared at her husband. "Don't you dare offer her food?" But 5 minutes turned into 1 hour. Then 2, Auntie chatted with everyone, acting like nothing had ever happened. Uju was about to explode when Chibu pulled her aside. "Calm down. Let's not cause another scene. I'll call her people again." Before he could dial, a phone rang from Auntie's bag. She snatched it and rushed outside. Uju quietly followed, then froze when she heard her whispering, "Yes, I'm in Lagos again. They can't touch me yet. Don't worry. Once I collect the last part of the money, I'll vanish for real." Uju screamed, so she came back to finish her drama. That night, Uju and Chibu hatched a plan. They called their pastor's wife, who happened to be from Nsukka, and told her everything. The woman laughed. "Leave that to me. The village will handle her their way." 2 days later, a van arrived again, this time with full village elders in traditional attire. They came with a chief, a woman leader, and even a megaphone. The entire compound gathered, thinking it was a crusade. Through the megaphone, the eldest man shouted, "We have come for the daughter who thinks she can run away from her people." Before Auntie could escape, they surrounded her. "You've disgraced our lineage enough. Do you think Lagos will hide your shame?" "Leave me alone," Auntie cried. "I'm a born-again Christian now. I've changed." "Born again?" the chief scoffed. "You stole our inheritance." Uju and Chibu just stood aside, embarrassed yet relieved. As the elders gathered Auntie's Ghana must-go, nylon bags, and even her box of seasoning, as they dragged her out like a prisoner of peace, Auntie turned dramatically and shouted, "Uju, remember, the road is long. Don't rejoice too early. Life is turn by turn." The van zoomed off, leaving behind laughter and gossip echoing through the compound. That night, Uju sat with Chibu, shaking her head. "Next time someone says they're visiting for 2 weeks, I'll ask for a written agreement and a guarantor." They both laughed until tears rolled down their cheeks. From that day, Uju put a padlock on the guest room door and hung a small sign, "Visitors are like fish. After 2 weeks, they begin to smell." And finally, peace came home to stay.